Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Butterfly Effect podcast. Today we are ranking the monsters from Little Hope. But before we do, we did put a poll out for this one. So we asked, what demon from Little Hope do you think is the scariest? And we're now going to go into the results. So mate, take it away.
Thank you to the 245 as of the making of this video, to the people who voted. And yeah, in the lead, 41% lad, John's Scuttling Demon. And then that's followed by Taylor's Hanging Demon, significantly beating her Burned Log Demon, which finished bottom. Bronze medal is Angela's Chains and Black Goop Demon, with Daniel's Spiky Fence Demon getting fourth. Now, I don't want to kind of talk too much about whether I agree with the list or not, because we're going to get into our ranks. But yeah, I'm not going to lie, there are a few surprises in there, mate. But you know what? I kind of thought John's Scuttling Demon would win. I don't know. How about you?
For me, yeah, the first and last place were very easy to pick for me, but as you'll find out when I explain my ranking, it's the middle three that I found a little bit awkward. So yeah, I'll tell you that when it comes to ranking them, mate.
So we're going to start with how they're introduced, and the first one being Angela's Chains and Black Goop Demon. Now, I've given Angela's Demon the bronze medal. I've not thought too hard about it. I've just kind of gone with my gut. It's a very strong introduction to these demons. We're going around and we obviously don't really know what to expect, and this is like the first one that sets the tone, which is so important. And you know what? I think they picked a pretty good one. Obviously all these demons kind of linked to the prologue death, so or the flashback death. So in this case, this one's chained in the river, so you have this chained goopy underwater demon, which was pretty cool. The way it kind of crawled around, really chilling. The way it would only come after Angela, was like the most vulnerable woman in the group, in my opinion. So yeah, I thought it was very chilling to look at. I guess the reason it doesn't fall higher for me is because it's most likely crawling on the ground and it's quite slow. So the jeopardy and threat wasn't there as much as it was for other villains, but definitely a strong introduction to the game.
So for me, guys, Angela's Demon got 4th place in my list. So pretty far down. The reason being, it's obviously that Liam has already said, it is quite a slow demon. Like, if I'm putting myself in that situation, I'm thinking I'm easily outrunning it. When you think of the situation with Angela, she was in a pit and she had to climb out, and I feel like that's why there was jeopardy. Obviously, it's really cool. I like the sort of half-sunken face. It's got the chains that it can get you, and if it does get you, as we know from the premonition, it then sort of drowns her with the black goop in the mouth. So the death is really cool. But if I'm talking about the scare factor of the demon, I'm thinking, look, if we're on flat ground, mate, I'm just legging it and there's nothing you can do about it. So that's why it ultimately fell down to 4th place in my list. So next up, we get introduced to Taylor's. Obviously, Taylor has 2, but we're going to go with the Burned Log Demon first. And in my ranking, I put it in last place, so it gets the turd for this one. Reason being is that, again, we're talking about the pace of the demon. Visually looks really cool, how it looks charred and it's carrying the log on the back from where in the prologue, of course, she burns to death. But if we're talking about the witch trials, she is sort of hung up against the log, Tabitha I think her name is, and burned at the stake. But again, I feel like if I was in a situation where I was trying to get away, it wouldn't be that difficult. It moves really slow. Again, it's sort of similar to Angela's, the death's cool. If it catches up to Taylor, it then burns her alive. But in terms of an actual demon coming up against it, I feel like I'd easily get away. So that's why it falls rock bottom to me.
Yeah, it also falls rock bottom for me. I'm also going to give the Burned Log Demon last place. Don't get me wrong, it looks quite chilling, the way you see the shard face and you could still see the teeth and the eyes come through. That is chilling to me, and I'm not gonna lie, Taylor can get a pretty cool death out of it as well, the way the Burned Demon will just kind of hug her and inflame her as well. But other than that, yeah, it's just not that much of a memorable demon. I think Jack hits it, nail on the head perfectly, that it looks like it's trying to carry this log, and it's it's just not the most threatening the way it walks. It looks like it's got a really massive inconvenience and it's never going to get to you in a million years. And I think as well, it just kind of gets a pitfall that this is an optional demon compared to another one, depending on the prologue death Tanya can get. And I just think the other one is a lot stronger, so this one kind of like gets a detriment rank because of that. Next, we're going to flip-flop to the other side of Taylor. Now, if you obviously in the prologue tried to escape via the balcony, you end up hanging Tanya, and then we get this hanging demon. And that takes the silver medal for me. Now, you know what? There was a time where I would say this was the gold medal, and I'll get to why it didn't quite get it later on. But yeah, like, I think it's maybe one of the most chilling demons. Well, second most evidently. Just the way that in the chase and everything, like, it doesn't touch the ground. The way it kind of just floats and hovers along, going for its prey. I don't know, there's just something really eerie about that. I've said it in another video, but it reminds me of the nurse off of Dead by Daylight. I just think it's just really... There's something quite creepy about it. So yeah, I really like it personally, love how it links to the prologue deaths. The only reason I'm not going to mark it gold as well is, other than I think the gold one is potentially stronger as well, is just the fact that I can't believe I never really saw this on my blind playthrough, but I don't know that I'm a fan of the tongue that comes out and kind of like hangs and like hooks around like Taylor's neck. I get it links to the prologue death of like almost trying to symbolize a noose in a way, but I don't know, I think it comes across more goofy than it does scary for me, and I do think that harms its like ranking in my opinion.
So for me, guys, Taylor's hanging demon gets the bronze medal, which may surprise you given that obviously it was silver in the poll, but yeah, for me, I have to agree with Cybes in the comments. I just can't get away from that chase scene. I'm putting myself in that situation. I'm just sprinting away from the thing. And like, I think for me, if I'm being very honest, when I'm talking about the middle three in my list, this very nearly finished in 4th place for me. But the only reason it beats Angela's demon is because of the tongue, because it can reach you. But I guess that is similar to the chains, but more to the fact that it is upright and floating, whereas Angela's one is like crawling along the floor. So I feel like there is more jeopardy with Taylor's hanging demon. With Angela's, that's what just pipped it, you know, pipped it to the bronze medal. But yeah, it's that chase scene. They're running away. I've said it 20,000 times, but you have to fail the QTEs in order to justify that thing catching up to them. I think it maybe also is a slight bias in my opinion. I do think Taylor is one of like the weaker characters in the game. And obviously if you've seen my recent playthrough, you'll know that I had trouble on the lethal difficulty trying to attack the tongue when it ultimately comes round, and it left a bitter taste in my mouth when Taylor died. So yeah, bronze medal for Taylor's hanging demon for me. Okay, so next in Little Hope we got introduced to Daniel's spiky fence demon, and for me he gets the silver medal. I can hear you already. I can hear what you're saying. You're thinking, but Jack, this one's really slow as well. Surely this would be further down the list. For me, I don't know what it is, just about the fact that this demon has a spear. Like when it stabs Daniel in the chest, or then further still in the eye, it's just a really dark death. And the fact that it actually has spikes coming out of its face as well, it just looks terrifying to me, and I would be worried. Even if I was like running away from it, I'd be concerned that it could use the spear as a javelin and just like throw it towards me. So that's why, even though it's slow, I feel like I'd be a little bit more apprehensive about this demon than I would about the previous 3.
Yeah, so for me, Daniel's spiky demon is getting the nothing. It's getting 4th place. And I do get Jack's ranking, and I know I didn't actually take into consideration that it comes with a weapon, and you know, that is kind of terrifying. And I quite like the fact as well that the weapon, it's a spear, but that is pretty much a spear that is almost like ripped out of the fence that Dennis once died through. So yeah, I like the symbolism, but I kind of like the symbolism with all of them. But I'm not gonna lie, like, it kind of like falls a little bit par with Taylor's Burned Log Demon for me. I'm just not gonna lie, it isn't the most memorable to me. If you know, there was a period I hadn't really touched or played this game in like 3 years or something before I saw Jack's playthrough again, and if I was to sort of think about the demons off the top of my head, I'd really have to dig deep to kind of remember what Daniel's was. So yeah, I just have to go it on that basis from my blind playthrough, that I just didn't think it was that memorable a demon, to be honest. And like, as you can see on screen, guys, we have 2 places left, and they're all gold medals. So John Scuttling, he's not Scottish. John Scuttling Demon takes our gold medal. Now, for me, it's just the way, it's just creepy, the way it's just unsettling, the way, like, he's obviously a crushed demon, so he's grounded, but he doesn't feel at the mercy of his environment, like he doesn't have spikes through him, or he's not carrying a massive log. This is like the fastest demon, and there's just something, again, mega unsettling about the way he scuttles towards you. How unpredictable he looks, the way he'll like switch directions, the way his like head will jerk sideways towards you. And it's the sounds as well, like someone else mentioned in the comments here. It reminds me of a Mirelurk from Fallout, and I absolutely hate those things. Yeah, like, whenever I had to pick who the best demon at Little Hope would be, it was between Taylor's Hanging Demon and this one, but the more I think about it, the more this way absolutely runs away with it. So, as you'll see from the original poll, I completely agreed. I think that's the first time I've ever done that on the channel, completely agree with you guys, but it's happened. And not only that, but with Little Hope as well, and the monsters that we're ranking. So yeah, John absolutely takes the gold medal here for me.
Yeah, so as you can see on screen, guys, I've also given John Scuttling Demon the gold medal, and it's literally everything that Liam just said. Like, the way that the limbs move so unnaturally and the way it scuttles along the ground. I think that was the thing for me. It's like just the sheer pace of the thing. You look at the other 4 and you can argue that they're all really slow, but this thing, if you tried to run away, it could at least maintain some sort of speed after you, and then it has the strength if it catches up to you. As we see in that final battle scene when John's on the floor and it's like pulling him in, you know, to try and crush him, or even at the very end when he gets, like, I think he snaps his neck, doesn't he, or like breaks his jaw, just like with like the arm wrapped around the neck. So yeah, like for me, this was far and away the best demon in the game. So yeah, there we go, guys. That's our ranking of the Little Hope monsters. What do you think of our ranking? Just to say again, thank you very much to 245 people that voted in our poll, and also for those that commented as well. And do keep an eye out for sort of similar ranking videos like this in the future. So unless you've got anything else to add, mate, we'll wrap it up.
Now, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Catch you later.